Today I messed up by sexual harassing a girl from my uni. Of course, this did not happen today but a few years ago. Just to be clear, I am a French-speaking German and it happens from time to time that I mix up the meaning of words in both languages. Now to the story. I was smoking with a group of friends before university started. There was this girl who just rolled a cigarette and started smoking. At the first puff she contorted her face and I knew it all too well. I hate the first puff in the morning and I think it's disgusting. What I said to her basically means, the first morning wood is hard. She gave me a nasty look and left. I did not really understand why. 2 weeks later I have only noticed that latte in French means puff but in German a completely different meaning. Today I messed up by blocking the guy I was seeing. For context, this actually happened a few months ago but I can't stop thinking about it. I, 21F, have never been in a relationship, nor ever kissed someone. This is connected to years of bullying but we don't care about it right now. Back in December, I met a guy, 21M, on Tinder. We really connected and decided to meet at a public park. We talked for a few hours, and then he kissed me. The thing is, I never told him about my inexperience because I was afraid of getting judged. If he was able to tell that I didn't know how to kiss, he never said anything. When I got home, I freaked out and blocked him. The reason is, I got scared. I know it wasn't the best reaction, and that I should have explained everything to him since the beginning, but I can't change that now. Since then, I've started going to therapy and now I'm handling this whole never had a relationship a lot better. But I can't stop thinking about him and regretting what I did, and now I want to text him to explain everything. I've unblocked him a few months ago. Should I do it or just let it be? My therapist told me to go for it, but I'm not too sure if he would appreciate it. Today I messed up by serving a customer a glass of soy sauce. This actually happened a while ago but has scared me so much that I think about it years later every time someone orders a glass of red wine. When I was 18 I started working my first server job at a local family-owned Japanese sushi restaurant. It was pretty small scale. 10/12 tables and I was the only server as they didn't get much business. The restaurant was owned by an old woman but her son and daughter ran the restaurant by this point, although she still worked in it. They also all lived in a house nearby. They frequently transported things back and forth between their house and the restaurant. They kept a lot of storage at their house but also just took home food or supplies to use at their house. I worked there for a few months and one night a table ordered a glass of Cabernet. We keep the red bottles on a different spot in the restaurant compared to the whites that we keep in a fridge in the kitchen. I was busy so rather than walk to the other end of the restaurant I grabbed a nearly full bottle of Cabernet on the end of the sushi bar, a spot I would learn later they usually kept some of their personal things on. I poured the glass and brought it to the customer, who was a woman with her family. I was stopped by them a minute after and she told me her wine did not taste good at all, bitter and salty. Her husband said it didn't even taste like wine but more like soy sauce. I exchanged puzzled looks with them and apologized and took the glass away and said I would open a new bottle for them. I walked over to my boss, the son, who is a sushi chef along with an old man who is part of their family. I told them they said the wine tasted bad and they were dismissive and just told me to get a new glass for them. Then I mentioned how they said it tasted like soy sauce and my boss stopped rolling and looked up at me with a horrified look. He turned toward the old man and started speaking in Chinese to him. Yeah, they're Chinese running a Japanese sushi restaurant, and the more they were talking the more my stomach just sank. My boss tells me that the other sushi chef took an empty bottle of Cabernet and filled it up with soy sauce to take it home but left it on the counter. He confirmed I just served them a glass of soy sauce wine. I got them a new glass and explained what happened and profusely apologized. My boss then came over and apologized as well and took off all their drinks from the tab. They laughed it off and would continue to come back after that and make me so embarrassed by bringing it up every time. Now I'm terrified of every glass of red wine ordered. Today I messed up by self-medicating my penis for 6 months instead of going to the doctor right away. I have first noticed flat, shiny and pale, pencil tip sized, bumps and bigger dry/scaly patches of skin around my shaft about 6 months ago. Google told me that it's probably jock itch and tetrachlorotrimazole cream on it so I went right to the pharmacy and went to town with it. Fast forward a few weeks, it didn't help my embarrassing problem at all so I went and Googled my symptoms again. After a few days of anxious research I have diagnosed myself with psoriasis and HPV flat warts. I have immediately told my wife that we cannot have sex until this is resolved, according to the internet 2 years or so, because she might catch it from me. At this point she told me that I'm probably wrong about my self-diagnosis and just to go to a doctor. I scheduled an appointment with a derm but in the meantime I have read about aceto white test for warts, like put a little apple cider vinegar on the spots and if they turn white it means warts. I did that and they did indeed turn white. After a night of crying and panic I woke up to my penis covered in red scabs from the ACV treatment. I went to the doctor the following day and she could not diagnose me correctly because I massacred myself. She referred me to get a swab test and gave me an RX steroid cream to use for 2 weeks. She also told me that the ACV test is meaningless and that I'm stupid, paraphrasing. The swab thing came negative for HPV. Steroid cream didn't help. I was back to the starting point. Finally, I have read that clotrimazole doesn't always work on all types of fungal infections, so I bought another OTC cream with miconazole. After 3 days I'm all clear. It's like magic. I would be probably prescribed a proper antifungal by a dermatologist right away if that was my first step, but who does that? Today I messed up by accidentally hitting on a minor. I need to get this off my chest because I feel like I'm losing my mind right now and I need to let this out. I messed up bad. The title says it all. I, 29M, decided to go to a supply store to pick up a few things. Once I'm there I start looking for what I need. While looking for a hair product I see this person who at the time I thought was an adult wearing a particular set of glasses I was looking to get, so I strike up a conversation with her. We talked about eyeglasses and hair product. The conversation went well. Once we left the store, I decided to shoot my shot and ask for her number, then she drops the bomb and tells me she was 16. My stomach dropped and I felt a sense of panic. I felt like such a weirdo. I immediately apologized to her and I left. I have never felt so embarrassed in my life. Thank God no one was around to see my major fuck up. I feel so disappointed in myself.